Different types of business organization. Business organizations may adopt several legal forms depending upon the scale of operations, ownership objectives, and liability preferences of their participants. The principal structures recognized by the program include the sole trader, partnership, limited liability partnership, LLP, and company, each possessing distinct legal characteristics and commercial advantages. The sole trader represents the simplest and most traditional form of business organization. Under this structure, the owner and the business constitute a single legal entity, meaning that the proprietor owns all business assets and bears unlimited personal liability for all business debts and obligations. The sole trader model requires minimal legal formalities for establishment and provides complete managerial control together with direct entitlement to business profits. However, because unlimited personal liability exposes the proprietor's personal assets to business creditors, this structure is generally unsuitable for large-scale or high-risk commercial activities. The partnership is defined as the relationship existing between two or more persons carrying on a business in common with a view to profit. Unlike companies, traditional partnerships generally do not possess separate legal personality, meaning that partners collectively own business assets and remain personally liable for partnership obligations. Partnerships combine financial resources, professional expertise, and managerial responsibilities while allowing flexible internal governance arrangements. Nevertheless, partners are jointly and severally liable for business debts, creating significant financial exposure where partnership liabilities exceed business assets. The chapter also introduces the limited liability partnership, LLP, which combines elements of partnerships and companies. An LLP possesses separate legal personality, perpetual succession, and the capacity to own property, enter contracts, create charges over assets, sue, and be sued in its own name. Members enjoy limited liability, with exposure generally restricted to their agreed capital contributions rather than their personal assets. Unlike ordinary partnerships, LLPs must comply with statutory reporting obligations, including filing annual accounts and reports with the relevant corporate registry. The LLP structure therefore offers the managerial flexibility associated with partnerships while providing corporate-style protection against unlimited liability. The most sophisticated organizational form is the company, which constitutes an independent artificial legal person distinct from its shareholders. Corporate status provides separate legal personality, perpetual existence independent of changes in ownership, and limited liability for members. Companies may raise capital through share issues, maintain separate ownership and management structures, and benefit from enhanced opportunities for expansion and investment. Consequently, companies represent the preferred organizational form for larger commercial enterprises requiring substantial external financing and long-term business continuity. Within partnerships, several categories of partners may exist depending upon their role and financial commitment. A general partner actively participates in management and assumes unlimited liability for partnership debts. A sleeping partner contributes capital but takes no active role in business operations while remaining liable as a partner. A limited partner contributes specified capital and enjoys liability limited to that contribution but is prohibited from participating in management. A salaried partner receives fixed remuneration and may not necessarily possess true partnership status unless entitled to participate in profits. These distinctions allow businesses to allocate risk, management authority, and financial participation according to commercial objectives. The law also recognizes several forms of partnership, including the ordinary partnership governed by the Partnership Act 1890, the limited partnership under the Limited Partnership Act 1907, and the limited liability partnership governed by the Limited Liability Partnerships Act 2000. Each structure differs in terms of legal personality, management rights, and member liability, providing businesses with varying degrees of flexibility and protection. Other types of partnerships from around the world. International business requires awareness of alternative partnership structures developed under different legal traditions. The program highlights two significant comparative models that illustrate how partnership law varies across jurisdictions while pursuing similar commercial objectives. The first is the civil law partnership, commonly found in jurisdictions influenced by the French legal tradition. One example is the Société en Nom Collectif, SNC, which closely resembles an ordinary English partnership in operational structure but differs by possessing corporate personality. Despite this separate legal status, the individual partners remain personally liable for the obligations of the business. This hybrid model demonstrates how civil law systems combine elements of corporate personality with traditional partnership liability principles to facilitate commercial activity while preserving creditor protection. The second model is the Sharia law partnership, derived from Islamic commercial jurisprudence. Shirkadal Milk concerns joint ownership of property by multiple individuals, while Shirkadal Act refers to a joint commercial enterprise established through contractual agreement between participants. These partnerships reflect Islamic legal principles emphasizing cooperation, shared ownership, and equitable participation in commercial activities while operating within the broader framework of Sharia law. Collectively, these business forms demonstrate the diversity of legal structures available to commercial organizations worldwide. Understanding their characteristics enables businesses and professional advisors to select organizational models that appropriately balance operational flexibility, managerial control, taxation, continuity, and liability exposure within different legal systems.